Stop! Sure you want the rest of it?
Dirty Harry Minute. Dirty Harry Minute. Dirty Harry Minute Podcast. Dirty Harry Minute Podcast.
Every penny's worth.
Welcome back to Dirty Harry Minute, the only podcast in the world to review every minute of the 1971 Warner Brothers classic Dirty Harry. I'm John, one of your three co-hosts, and I'm joined this week with...
Trent.
And with...
Tim,
Welcome back, guys. I missed you last week.
I heard you did it without us.
Did it without you. Are you offended?
Yeah, I feel like I've been cheated on.
Your new friends.
I thought it was only fitting I had Blake and Redmond, who were in the remake we did of Dirty Harry. But I'm glad you guys are back. Blake and Redmond, you were great, but everything went upside down last week. I was starting to think that Eastwood's best movie was Space Cowboys and that Bloodwork should have been nominated for that Academy Award, not Unforgiven. So,
Well, it should have, shouldn't it?
yeah. I'm assuming it has. I haven't looked it up. It was nominated, wasn't it, Trent?
Oh, of course, absolutely. James Garner for Best Supporting Actor, I'm sure.
Well, what excuses did you have? What were you doing? You were stalking Scott Eastwood, Tim?
Yeah,
Let's have it.
trying to. He was in Queensland.
Let's have it.
What?
Your report. What have you been doing for the last... and Trent, you were at the Titanic.
I was at the
Theatre Restaurant.
Titanic Theatre Restaurant in Williamstown, for those who aren't from Melbourne, which is a three-course meal. I think it's $90 a head or something like that, and it's a comical recreation of the Titanic disaster.
Not the movie itself.
How does it end?
It ends, the ship crashes into an iceberg, which is replicated through sound, and the lights all go down. Then there's this voiceover that says, 300 people perished on the Titanic. Luckily, you're all middle-class citizens, and you go onto allegedly through sound, you go onto this other ship, and then they bring up this backdrop of New York outside the window, which looks awesome, actually, and then they start singing New York, New York. That's how it ends.
We should crank the AC at the end.
yeah, exactly.
Turn the sprinklers on.
But yeah, everyone from each table gets pulled up if there's a birthday person, and get thrown in a life jacket and shit like that.
So is it like a normal dinner theatre?
Yeah.
And there's a story of some sort.
Yeah, that you're on the Titanic and...
Do they have songs? Like
Yeah, Song of Dance.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Though I don't... Yeah, not quite like Hunchbacks. I don't see any alleged offenders who might go to prison on the stage there.
And can you see this translating into a Dirty Harry stage show? Dinner theatre?
Maybe at Harry's Bar in Warner Brothers Movie World.
Serving hot dogs.
Oh, shit.
We've spoken about the bar before. He's saying it's pretty lackluster. You've been there, Tim? Or...
Yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah, it's terrible.
I haven't been for years.
What sort of things would you like to see in the bar? Would you really go a hot dog and the Curachrome, and
Maybe his coat hanging on the wall.
would there be pictures respect for Anne-Marie Deacon, like in memory of?
I suppose so. The newspaper with Scorpio's request
yeah.
you know, just little nods to the film.
An Albert Popwell booth where you can sit in memoriam.
We are joined on this episode by returning guest Ben.
G'day.
Thanks for coming.
My pleasure.
True to your word, we thought these minutes of the suicide talk down scene might be a bit boring.
The most exciting minutes of the movie.
And we are joined by first-time guest David Danger. How you going?
Hi, not bad.
Did you enjoy your allocated minutes?
Yeah, some of them are interesting. This one looks very different, but is pretty boring. Yeah, so, I thought, wow, that looks like it's directed by someone else, and then you told me it was, so I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yes, apparently the studio had allowed 6 shooting days for this, and Clint said, I can do it in 1. And so either Siegel was sick or that was the excuse, and he let Clint have a go at directing it.
Really? This whole scene?
Yeah.
They shot it in one day?
Yeah,
Or
one night.
Yeah, well, I mean, when I watched it, I thought, wow, it suddenly looks like it's turned into a documentary or something. I mean, obviously it's not, but that's the way it's shot, and so it was kind of surprising.
I reckon it's the only sign of like handheld camera in the whole film.
Yeah, you could be right.
Then that's probably what made it so speedy. You know, most of the track work and whatever is done on a crane when he's up on the scaffolding.
Is this the only scene that's shot by him in the movie? Do you know?
Yeah, I think so.
Had he? Was this before or after Play Misty for Me?
This was filmed after and came out after. Yeah, I think Play Misty with Me.
We read that, didn't we?
Yeah, it came out the month before, but it was filmed earlier.
That's right. But Breezy was before that, wasn't it?
No, it was 73. That was after this.
Oh, was
apparently, he directed a featurette for The Beguiled. But I don't think that's online yet. Some doco in-house trailer that was made. But it was quite funny. I thought that the fireman Ben apologised for calling Harry and Chico out, saying we thought it was the sniper, but it wasn't. So if Scorpio hadn't have put the town on alert, it's very possible this guy would have plummeted to his death. So thanks, Scorpio.
Never made that plot connection before.
No, that's what you have to do when you watch these slow minutes over.
The justification for this thing.
There's a silver lining there, Scorpio. Thanks.
I think this is that scene where it should have been the bank robbery that you could have done without this scene and just had Chico watch him diffuse the bank robbery situation. But yeah, nobody asked me. They didn't consult me to direct this scene. Did
you notice the fireman, like a lot of these secondary actors, seems to have sort of an East Coast accent? I mean, no, a little bit. And he seemed to know Harry as well. I wonder how many times Harry's bumped into him. He calls him Inspector.
Yeah, right.
Do you reckon Harry's well known amongst the whole...
Well, it could be.
Whole municipal authorities, David?
Well, yeah, from this scene it seems like he is. So, yeah. I don't know if every fireman in San Francisco would actually know Harry, but, I guess it makes for a different kind of story. One where everybody secretly loves him.
Everyone in this room loves him, right? Why did Harry say yes? He could have just easily knocked off.
I said, no, this isn't my problem.
Yeah.
Or let Chico do it.
Yeah, that's right. Because the bank robbery ruined his hot dog.
Yeah.
And then this suicide scene could have ruined his chance with Hot Mary. He had to rush off.
But he takes every dirty job.
Sorry?
Every dirty job, yeah.
Yeah.
But like you were sort of talking out in previous minutes, Ben, this sort of scene just is a repeat of his character exposition that we see maybe in other scenes just as well.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems odd, especially with the, I suppose it's tension of the cherry picker going up. But it's not exactly a highly tense scene.
But something I think it is interesting at the end of this scene, or like halfway through this scene, is that his face is half in the spotlight and half in darkness, which is kind of symbolic of maybe his nature.
His duality.
I might be alone here, but I actually really like this scene.
What?
Yeah.
Get out.
I kind of like the realism of it, the way it's shot. I mean, we've got it playing in the background now. And just I hate handheld camera in modern films, but I like it in this, how it sort of breaks it up a bit and you feel like you're really there.
Yeah.
Or watching something real. I mean, all those extras look like they're just hanging around watching a film being shot.
Some pretty epic lens flare there too.
Yeah. Blake mentioned about the lens flare. JJ approved. Do you think Stratton would even like the handheld?
I don't know. That's David Stratton John's referring to, Australian film critic.
I think one of the extras looks a bit like Dustin Hoffman, like a marathon man. Is that a bandana or
Headband.
Yeah. Is it someone taking a photo, Tim?
Looks like it.
He's got two
A
cameras.
reporter, probably.
Reporter.
Well, for me, this I know what you're saying about maybe compressing this and the bank robbery, but I think the bank robbery scene is more about showing him as a badass sort of cop who, willing to sort of bend the rules a bit. This one's maybe more about, well, I don't know. Maybe it's more like the observers, like Chico, seeing Dirty Harry doing dirty work.
Yeah.
Which is what he comments on, I guess.
I mean, because he says that this is why they call him Dirty Harry. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like
the dirtiest.
Yeah. That, like, if he didn't do it, then it would have to be one of the firemen or something like that talking the guy down. So it hardly seems like the worst assignment.
We've got a nice quote here by a reviewer. It says, This scene, the talk-down scene, shows a policeman's lot is full of many hours, grubbiness, danger, and boredom that never amounts to anything, and then explosion. You're called on to do a horrible task.
Well, that's it. Like, he could just be on his way somewhere else, and any second you're called in to do something else. It's unexpected. And
Yeah.
They could have done it back the other way. He has this scene at the beginning instead of the bank robbery, and he's got his hot dog, and he's talking the guy down from, like, and he's like, "Oh, you made me drop my hot dog."
you want some of this?
Yeah. Because it seems like it would be a dirtier job to, like, go and try and shoot a bunch of bank robbers.
Yeah.
I'm on a diet. It's gluten-free bread.
Very slow cherry picker scene ascending. Danger, do you reckon?
Yeah, it is slow.
Yeah. Has anyone been up in a cherry picker before?
Yeah.
Oh. Did it go well?
Not exactly one like that, but
Not that high, but
it's slow.
it is slow. I don't know. I just really like the suspense. For someone who bitches and moans about the latest series of Twin Peaks, David Lynch doing Antonioni bullshit throughout 17 episodes and getting nowhere. Sorry, spoiler. And I really like this, but that's me.
Do you think you would have liked the movie better if Clint Eastwood had directed the whole thing? Like, if that was his, say, his first movie?
Probably not. I think the novelty of this, the difference of it, is why I enjoy it. Yeah, it sort of breaks it up.
Do you know if he directed any scenes in any further, any of the sequels?
He directed Sudden Impact, I think.
Yeah,
Is that
Sudden
right?
Impact.
Is that the one with Jim Carrey?
No, that's
That's
last one.
Deadpool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did he direct that?
No,
as well?
that was Buddy Van Horn, or one of his neophytes. Did you notice, Tim, how there's 2 Safeways in the back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't see 2. I saw 1.
Yeah, so I mean, later on when they're running around the city town, Chico's, there's a Safeway behind him as well.
Right. Another Australian reference there.
Yeah. I think you were saying, Tim, Trent, they bought the license from the American company. Yeah.
They're actually different companies.
Different
Or they
company,
were
yeah.
different companies, but yeah. That was some hungover Wikipedia rabbit hole I fell down one day.
It's obviously a bit grasping at straws here, but another reviewer has talked about it's Harry is ascending to heaven, paying for our sins.
Jesus Christ.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
And he's really dirty because, like Jesus, he's stained on our behalf. He's our martyr.
Where are these reviews from?
Did you make that up?
Yeah. Did you write that, John?
No, I cherry-picked it from the internet. Another quote, we've been talking about, David, about the Life magazine article in 1971. It was actually, the interview was done with Clint the night they were filming this, purportedly. Mm-hmm. And it said, commenting on Eastwood's style, his first directing, apart from Play Mystic for Me, it says, Eastwood's style is to shoot first and act afterwards. He etches his characters virtually without words. He has developed the art of underplaying to the point that anyone around him who so much as even flinches looks hemmily histrionic. Is Clint Eastwood sleeping his way through this performance, Tim?
Well, he had to get on the cherry picker. That's something.
I think one of the best parts of this minute, David, is just the way Chico's looking up at him. Like, is it in awe? What's he sort of looking up?
Yeah, I think that he's kind of in awe because he's just taking a job that doesn't really belong to him. And so he's kind of seeing what the life of a policeman is really like, or at least a policeman who's so dedicated to helping the public. And it is such a contrast to the earlier scene at the bank robbery where he's blowing that guy, or, pretending like he's about to blow that guy away. Here, even though he's teasing the person who's thinking about committing suicide, you also kind of think, well, yeah, but he actually is trying to help him. So, yeah, it shows a more human side, a more compassionate side to his character.
To me, there's a bit more look of worry on his face.
Well, the scene before this was him, like, peeking in the window. Maybe he thought he was just getting in the cherry picker to, like, peek in the top window and, like, screw the guy on the top of the roof. Oh, some titties up here.
Did you notice how the fireman looks at Chico just for a few seconds there, Trent? What do you reckon he's
Longingly.
Who's idolising who?
I don't know, mate. Did he go to say something to him?
Possibly.
Possibly.
Again, sorry to go back, but just the shooting style, when you think about Hollywood films at that time, there wouldn't have been that many that had handheld camera use on location as well. So it's kind of unique in its time. I could be completely full of crap there, but I can't think of anything.
No, outside, I suppose, documentaries.
Cameras are so big as well,
Yeah.
Break your back. They didn't have those gimbal things to like.
Yeah, exactly.
sit them on.
Just the lighting is so natural.
Yeah.
I think that it's really unusual.
It's kind of unnerving in comparison to the rest of it. I think that's why I like it. It's sort of startling.
I notice in the background there's still sirens blaring. They can probably turn them off now, can't they? Unless it's another emergency over the other side of town. I had a personal emergency in 2010 when I was here doing my obligatory Dirty Harry location scouts, and I lost your camera, Tim. I'm sorry.
What a mistake.
I was right next to the embassy, and I'm pretty sure it fell through my bag. And yeah, I went back there a few minutes later, retraced my steps. Nothing. It was gone.
For the listeners, John borrowed my camera to take it on holiday.
Yeah. And so I lost most of my Dirty Harry photos, except Mount Davidson Park. So yeah, sorry about that, Tim. So long ago.
Just shaking my head.
What else have you lost of anyone here's on the table? You've lost Ben's battery for his camera.
Yep.
Whatever happened to that camera anyway?
I gave that back to you. Yeah, we filmed Dirty Larry on that.
Didn't you still have it?
Oh,
No, I think I gave it back. Have another
I
look.
think it broke because he came to my house with some tape a few years after that and we copied it. Something like that.
oh right. Yeah, I don't know. It must be in the attic somewhere.
Well, that's pretty much all I've got on this minute, David. Anything that strikes you?
No, nothing really. I mean, not a lot happens in this scene, so yeah. I think it's all about the cinematography in this scene.
I know we've talked a bit before about the French Connection, Tim, which you like.
Yes.
Was it good?
Yeah. I mean, it's always good. It's just a weird coincidence.
I know they're very different movies, but are there any similarities between the two, Tim? They're both sort of
Rugged cops.
following their hunches
Yeah.
and showing you what real police work is like. Are there sort of scenes like this in the French Connection, or is it all about the bust? Like, does he have like character
Is that
building
like
scenes?
surveillance? There's quite a lot of surveillance, and I don't think you see much of his home life. The Gene Hackman character.
Yeah, I suppose when he's like beating up one of the witnesses early on, that could be considered. This is how he deals with people.
Yeah.
Some people have said the Poughkeepsie line. Does he repeat that twice?
Oh,
Yeah.
picking your teeth.
Yeah.
Picking your feet in Poughkeepsie.
Is that just to get the perp off balance? Like, why is he asking me that?
Yeah,
Just like
I think so.
Yeah.
It's just
And maybe that's sort of the same with 6 shots or only 5. It's just to disorientate or engage the criminal in front of him. Like, is it just a character tick they both have?
that shtick of the picking your feet in Poughkeepsie is probably a more realistic tactic than how many times do you have your gun out and have actually fired it and then like get to say that to somebody as opposed to roughing up a suspect and then confusing the hell out of them with this little thing.
Is there a lot of handheld camera work in the French Connection as well?
There is some, I think.
But there's no boring scenes like this. Sorry, Tim. Trent, I know you love it. There's no...
I don't know, like some of the stuff early on where it's the guys setting up in France or Calais or somewhere when they're organising the deal. I mean, it starts off pretty slow.
Yeah. There's slow bits and then there's action beats throughout.
Also, New York seems so much dingier than San Francisco in the time.
North Beach can't compete.
Yeah, it's like there's no sunshine. All the buildings are dilapidated,
Well, that's pretty much all I've got for this minute. Anyone want to add anything else?
Yeah, let's get to the next minute.
We'll call it to a close on
Dirty
Harry Minute.